Hello, Klaus here, and welcome back to yet another video here at the channel. It is so lovely to have you back here at the channel, and if you are new to this channel and want to learn Davinci Resolve filmmaking tips and tricks and want to have a look at some pretty cool gear, I would recommend you to subscribe. In this video I'm going to show you how to do a pretty simple product shot using a background found on the internet. You can use different things, a couple of lights and a camera. So in this video we'll go into that and we'll do this shot right here. Okay, so let's get right to the video. Okay, so we're doing this behind the scenes on my phone, a little bit alternative for what I usually would do, but hey, I do not have a lot of time to rig stuff up today, so let's do it pretty fast. So for this shot, we are shooting on the green screen, shooting on the Pocket 6K Pro, and I also have a small light from Digital Photo I'm using to do some reflections with, and that's basically all there is for this setup. So for the shot, I'm also using a Lazy Susan. In this case, I'm just using a old wooden one, manual one, because that is just good enough. Okay, so that was the setup. Now let's go into Davinci Resolve and do some editing. Okay, so here we are in Davinci Resolve, and we're going to work with this clip, again, shot on a Lazy Susan, and just spinning around. So we're going to do some kind of a retro commercial shot using this clip. So first off, I'll do this inside of Fusion. So I'm going to right click and I'll go up and I'll create a new Fusion clip. And with that done, I'll just jump right into Fusion. So here we go. Here I have my media in, and that is the can, and I don't want to use that as my media in clip. So I'm just going to disconnect this. I'll push F2 and I'll call this can, like that. I'll go up to the media pool and I have here a retro background. I want to use that. I'll close down the media pool again. And I'm going to rename this again, F2. Call this retro BG. And then I'm just going to take a background and I'm going to connect that to the media out. And the main reason for doing that is because I want to use the retro background and do an effect on that, and it's easier to do this way. Okay, so let's push 1 on the keyboard so we have the can in the first viewer. First thing I want to do is actually I want to do a basic color grade on this because it's going to make it easier when we are keying out the green. And since this is a shot in a flat look, all the contrast and colors are away, so we're going to add that in. So I'm just going to connect my can shot to my color corrector and selecting the color corrector and pushing 1 on the keyboard. And then I'll just go over here in the inspector and do something with the colors. So first off, I'm going to put in some contrast. I might lift the gain just a little bit. Also the lift, I want to push that down a little bit. And then I'm just going to push up the saturation. Something like that. Let's have a look. You can see if we push 2 on the can layer, you can see the difference. This is the graded version and this is the other one. Okay. So now I want to key out my green screen, so I'm going to push Shift spacebar, and in here I'm going to search for the delta keyer, which is right here. I'm just going to add that in, and now I have my delta keyer, and I'm going to push 2 on the keyboard so I can see what I am doing. And first thing, I need to find the background color. I'm just going to take this puppet here and I'm just going to put that right on here. And overall, that is a pretty good key, I think. However, I want to go into the matte, and here I can use the threshold to change the colors a bit. I want to bump this down. So for now, this is okay. Then I want to take in a mask. I'm going to take a polygon mask because I want to mask out all this stuff I don't need. So I'm just going to select that and then zoom in a bit here, and I'm just going to do a pretty fast mask around here. Because this is all I do need. So I'm just going to zoom in and see if I did a okay job. I think that's okay. Like that. Then I'm going to take the delta here and I'm going to put that down in the background so it's going to get in a merge node. So I have my polygon here. I'm going to push the second mouse button and I'm going to drag this into the delta key here, and I'm going to put this in as my garbage matte. So now it disappeared, but I'll jump into the delta, and in the garbage matte here, I'm just going to push invert. Now it should be just fine. So I'm going to take my retro background here and I'm going to drag this into the background 1 and let go. So it's going to add in a merge node. So now we have those two things combined, and now we can see if our key is okay, and I can see that I need to change stuff around. So I'll go into the delta. I'll go into the matte, and here I can play around with the threshold until these dots you saw right here are away. We can also use the clean fore and background as well. We can do a little like that, something like that. Let's have a look. Well, I would say that is not that bad. So what I want to do now is I want to animate the can so it will fly from the back of the frame to the front of the frame. So, and the easiest way to do that would be just to add in a transform node. And I'm going to add the transform node in between the delta key here and the merge 1. And then I'm going to make sure I am on the first keyframe. And then in the inspector, I'm going to size this down quite a bit. So I want it to be like very small, somewhere around here. So I'm going to push in a keyframe at the center and at the sizing. And then, I'll go, let's say I'll go like, it should be pretty fast. So around frame 20, 25, I think would be good. So I'm going to scale up my image. I'm going to zoom out a bit here. So it should be something around here. And then I'll push the center and I'll move it. So it's in the middle of it all. And then, you can see now if the keying is okay. I think I want to go into the threshold yet again. I'm just going to bump this up a little bit. Something like that. I think that's better. So I'm going to zoom out. And now we can see what we have. So this is what we have. But I want to give this a little bit extra. And the way I'm going to do that is actually, I'm going to make some space here. I'm going to copy paste the can I did. So I'm just going to push Control C. I'm going out in the grid and pushing Control V. Okay, and now need to clean up a little bit here. So I want to take this duplicate of the frame and I'm going to push this down to the merge. So it's going to do another merge, just like that. So I want to make this wavy effect here. And the way I would do that would be, I'm just going to highlight these, moving these up a bit. I'll go to the first can. I'm going to push Control Spacebar and I'm going to write wave. And then we have this waviness here. I'm going to add that in. Just going to click, push Shift and drag and let it in between the transform and the merge, like that. So first off, I want to go into the settings and I'm going to use the scale, and I'm going to scale this almost all the way down. The strength, I'm going to make that way less, and the pace I'll do a little higher, something like that. And then we could change the speed of the animation a little bit, so it'll be something like that. So then I want to go into the merge, and I'm simply going to move the whole can a little bit down, like that. So we have this reflection of the can, or at least we're creating the illusion of that. Also, I want to go to the beginning here, so we have it right here. So we might want to zoom in a bit. And again, with the merge selected, I want to go into the center. I'm going to put in a keyframe, and I'm going to move the can all the way up here. You know, I can just run through and make it so the can would be around here. Something like that. So I've done this little movement with the can here as well. So of course this looks a little bit silly right now, but we're going to change that. So first thing, I'll go into my mask I did, my garbage mat, and I'm just going to make the whole mask smaller, like that. That way we are cutting out pieces of the can around here, which is a pretty good thing. Okay, so now we have this. As you see, the zoom and all of this is making the colors different here. So we have like this square, and I don't want to have that. So again, in the merge, I'll go into the apply modes. I'm just going to go over here, and I'm just going to put multiply. So now it should be away, like that. However, I want the can itself to be less noticeable. And again, I'll do that by going into the merge. I'll go into the blend mode. I'm just going to push that with it down, something. So we kind of get this reflection here. And I can see that I want to go into my polygon here again, and I'm going to move that a little bit down here. So there we go. So that is the basic. One last thing to do with this effect is I want to do a color shift effect, but I don't want the effect to have anything to do with the can itself, only the background. So the way to do that would be to take a color corrector and put that in between the retro background and the merge too. So let's go back here. Just going to move this around a bit. So let's see. We'll go into the color corrector. I'll be at the frame 0, and I'm simply just going to take my saturation and drag it all the way down. And then I'm going to add in a keyframe. It's just going to play, and I think around here. So when the bottle stops, I want there to be color. And I'm simply just going to take the saturation and bump that up until I have the look I want. So I want to have less saturation, of course, because I think that looks better. Something like that. So here we go. So here we have the colors boosting up, and it's not affecting the can at all. So that is the final shot. I do hope you found this video useful. If you did, please hit that subscribe button, give the video a like, share it with your friends if you think it would help them out, and if you want to be notified every time there's a new video on this channel, please hit that bell icon down in the corner. Until next time, keep filming, keep learning, and keep sharing.